Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and we're going to be doing another jewelry wrap today. I actually was going through my inventory of stones and I found this beautiful clear quartz stone that's raw, and it's not a full natural point. It's actually a broken piece of raw clear quartz, and I thought it would be beautiful to make it into a pendant because it's so shiny, it reflects the light so well, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you another technique on how to make jewelry. So what I'm going to do is I'm using sterling silver again, and this is the squared sterling silver. Now this time I'm going to be using what's called a half round. Now half round wire is, at least to me, it's very difficult to work with because you have to stay on one side of the wire. As you can see, this side is a little bit duller, but if you turn it over, this side is very shiny. The very shiny side is the flat side to the wire, and the more dull side is the round side, which is the side that you want to show on your pieces. So let's get started with that. Now, I'm going to do the same starting point as what I did for the previous two videos, but the other thing is this time I have to be very careful on how I'm turning my wire, making sure not to twist it, and laying it with that shiny flat side down very carefully. Otherwise, you're going to end up with an uneven looking piece. So just very carefully and gently wrap your wire around your base wires like this. Then of course you can finish this off by turning your tail like so. Okay, there we go. Let's take the protective head and push that out. Closer. Sure all of your wires are flat, like they're supposed to be. And that's one of the biggest points about the square wire. It works very well with flat square wire, but it's still tricky because you still have to use this to straighten out your wire every so often to make sure you don't have any twists in your final product. Okay, so there we go. Cut this off. Get that out of the way. And my little fuzzy helper is trying to take my wires from me again. Little Bonbon is over here. Say hi, Bon. So he does it all the time when I'm wrapping. He'll sit next to me while I'm doing videos, or if I'm just finishing up my videos and posting them on YouTube, and he tries to grab my wires. Hey, no. And play with them. He's only a year and a half old, so he's still in that playful kitten phase. No, 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 little guy, no. Okay, so Bon, no. Little poop. Okay, so we got this centered. And then this one, since it's kind of cut weird, you have to just, per se, go with the flow. So this one's going to be a little different. This one, I'm actually going to wrap all three of my wires around the stone at one time, instead of creating those tails like I did before. And the reason for this is because, again, you're dealing with a very odd shaped stone, but the stone is, it's very easy to work with at the same time because it's not a smooth stone. It's a rough cut or an original raw cut stone. Okay, so if you're out hiking or just walking around next to a riverbank and you come across a stone that you really like, this is a good option to wrap your stones with. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since I have this in the fitting, okay, is I'm going to take the stone out. And why I'm doing that is because I've already got my shape for the stone with the wire. So I'm just going to push these in a little bit so I know when I get the stone in it's going to be a little bit more snug. Then I'm going to go back to my half round wire. Make sure I have half round on the top. And I'm just going to start wrapping this. And again, you can see I'm going a lot slower than what I was previously because I don't want two different textures to show up on my bale or on my final product in general. I want it to be consistent. Okay, and the best part about working with the sterling silver is it's very strong, so it will hold very, very well. Okay, so we got this piece little here like we did before. We're just going to tuck it in and put it to bed. Like so. I'm going to push this down all the way like we did before. And we'll take two of these and pull them out to the sides. There we go. Okay, so that is the beginning of our bale. Now at this point, since I finished wrapping this piece here and it's wrapped correctly, I'm going to go ahead again and use my flat protective there we go. Pair of pliers and straighten that out again to make sure that I'm still on the same page as what I was before. Now, this is going to be a little difficult because when you're wrapping with the half round and you're working with multiple wires, like if you're going to do a weave, it could be very difficult to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by wrapping this a couple times around the entire base, okay, after my bale. And then I'm not going to do an intricate wrap like I did before. I'm just going to take this and go around two wires. Like so. And then jump over to the other one and wrap it like that. So this is kind of jumping across. It also creates a kind of a ladder effect, if you would. But I'm also not twisting my wire in any way. So it allows you to remain consistent on the same side of wire without having to twist it. You just lift and place, and that's all you have to do when you get in between. And jump over to the other side, lift and place, twist it around, back over to this side, lift and place. It's very simple. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. Go, lift in place. Lift in place. You just want to keep doing this until you feel that you've reached the point where you created the bail that you want. Again, working with the flat wire is a little bit cumbersome, but it looks absolutely beautiful in the end. And because you're putting more time into your work, you could sell this piece or gift it with a lot of confidence in what you do. And again, this will take some time to get used to, just like it does with any other wire that you're working with. Just be patient. Go. And this is a pretty popular wrap or weave because it is so simplistic. But for me, the end result is beautiful. And normally I can wrap these very quickly, but I just want to take my time. Alright, now that would be big enough for the bail. See how shiny that is now? It almost looks like a full flat piece of sterling silver. So I'm just going to take this and wrap it around to end my design or end my weave. And then I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to hold it there and do something a little bit different like I mentioned before. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put my stone back in. And the reason for that is because once I pull this down, it's going to tighten all the wires here. So when you pull your bail, it's going to tighten everything around the stone. So push your bail forward as always. And bend it back. Very slowly. Put these out in front like this. There we go. Okay, so that's actually quite a large bail. It's quite big, which is okay. But now, what I want to do is make sure my stone is set. So now I'm going to start, instead of working on it at the end of this, I'm going to start working on it now. So what I'm going to do is push this through like I did with the previous video. Okay, get that out of the way, pull that up and around. Okay, do the same thing with this side. Now you could probably take your stone out at this point too. I just don't like to because I don't want the wires around the stone to bend in a fashion which they're not supposed to. Okay, there we go. So I got that all situated. And then since I want to make this tighter, I'm going to go wrap it around again. So I'm going to take my stone out this time. I'm going to pull it through. So I already have one already done here. Just going to pull this through a second time. Like so. And this time I'm going to make it a little loose, just to give it kind of, not a little flare, but just a little bit of decoration, if you would. So it's not really doing a lot for the design of the wire, but it's giving it just a little bit of a decoration to it. There we go. Okay. So now those are over the sides like so. So what I'm going to do is I still have this tail, right? So I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces off. This is so thick. It could be very hard to cut. Because of being sterling. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish these. One. And two. Okay. So there's the front. Now the front, I want to make it look a little bit more flush by squeezing all this together. There we go. Okay, so now you can put your stone back in. And we want to design the actual setting around the stone now. So since you added more thickness up here around the wires that are holding the stone, you're gonna have to use your fingernails, which this can hurt. So be gentle and be patient with yourself, because these wires, being sterling silver, will snap back very easily. And there's one. We'll do this side. Okay, so now I've created the setting on both sides. So now we can put the stone in again. Like so. And now we can close the setting. Okay, so let's get these all into place. Back. Okay. We got that inset, so we're going to move these over slightly to the front, and we'll do the same in the back. Okay, there we go. And then the sides, I'm going to make I like to call it a lightning bolt or the flash. And what that does, it actually tightens around the stone itself. So it adds a little bit of a zigzag, which isn't much of a design, but it helps the stone stay in place a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so now your stone is in the setting and it's not going anywhere. So as you can see, it looks really pretty. Really, really pretty. And it's going to be open on both ends. So back to this piece. This tail piece that we have, I'm going to take both of these wires, okay, and I'm going to wrap them around the back of the piece. Then I'm going to make sure, once again, that I have my round side facing outward. And I'm going to create a little weave. With the leftover tail instead of cutting it off and wasting it, because sterling silver, again, it's kind of expensive. It's not cheap. So, at least compared to other wires, it's not cheap. So there we go. We're going to start this weave, and now I'm going to start being very careful again. And wrapping. Being careful not to twist, just to wrap around very carefully. Like so. And this is just a single weave. This isn't like the 3 that I've done before. And you can stop this at any point whenever you want to. Now I'm going to stop here because this is the back side of the stone, the way I see it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to weave it into one of the wraps that we have on here, like this. Again, making sure everything stays with that soft side. And I'm just going to wrap around a couple times like this. Some people actually just wrap as they go. They don't have a planned wrap for their stones or what have you. So I'm going to take this piece and bring it around the front. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of creating a little barrier, if you would, around the stone just to secure it a little bit better. But at the same time, I'm actually going to make a design out of the wire itself as well. So we're going to pull this through, and mind you, this is square wire. And we're going to make a little rosette or spiral just to give it some interest. And at the same time, this is tightening everything around here. There we go. That's good. I don't want to get any tighter. Okay, so now this piece here, just going to go around a few times and chop it off. Or you could just keep going all the way to the end, whatever you want. Maybe I'll just keep going. It does look pretty, so. I actually have a machine that does this for me. Not an actual machine, but it's a device that you could use that wraps around wire like this, but you can't have it attached to anything. So, yeah. Now I overlaid my wire a little bit just to give a little bump on the end, and that gives a little bit of interest. Most designers won't do that because it doesn't look right. I kind of like that little bump at the end. Just it makes it a little bulbous, if you would. If I could just get that piece to lay flat. It doesn't want to. There we go. Okay. So now you have this other piece. And you can create interest with this as well. By making another design on the front side. Pulling it around, like so. And then we'll just go ahead and curl this into place. Okay, there we go. So this is our sterling silver wrap piece of raw clear quartz. Okay. That's the front, this is the back. Again, you can wear this either way. This is more simple, this is more intricate. I love the front. I think the front turned out really nice, especially with this little swirl that I made and the division between the two wires and the extra tail that we had. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. Of course, if you do, go ahead and like and follow. Share the video with friends and family. And certainly I will see you in the next one. Bye.